if you're transfigured into another person, you have a child while being that other person is.
Loophole. As the year progressed, Barty Crouch Jr., Mad Eye Moody, should have also looked.
Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles to Squibscorner. I am Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew, and like my man Jeremiah said, side quests. We're going to be throwing in some more side quests. So obviously we're going through year 2, Chamber of Secrets.
Squibler.
We've got a Squibler. That's right, the Squibler. Our side quests
It's been a while.
are entitled the Squibler. And today we're talking about Polyjuice Potion, which is a pretty interesting tale. I had some fun researching this.
Oh yeah, no,
I had
there's
some fun researching this.
there's quite a bit to Polyjuice Potion. I feel like really we're only going to be touching the tip of this, but be that as it may, unless J.K. Rowling wrote it, is there really much research to put into it? You know what I mean? So
Well, and, here's the thing. J.K., like with a lot of things in the books, the movies, her universe, on Pottermore, what was Pottermore, now HarryPotter.com, she'll often add to what we get in the books.
yeah,
But-
I think
but
she left a
Polyjuice, she
lot open
didn't.
to interpretation. So
Yeah.
I say unless J.K. Rowling wrote it, but there's some things that just make sense. They just add up, and you're like, okay, yeah. But stuff like this, yeah, you can take it or leave it. Interesting nonetheless.
Yep.
So, like I said, I think we all have enough information to know what Polyjuice Potion is and what it does. But leaving it at that is not something we here at Squib's Corner are willing to do.
No.
No. We are here to give you all the information that we can come up with on any given subject within Harry Potter to make it more known. Polyjuice Potion is used throughout Harry Potter and as well as in Fantastic Beasts, which Andrew has yet to watch.
Nor does he have a desire to. Continue.
In fact, in Harry Potter, it plays a pretty significant role in the 4th book, The Goblet of Fire. But when did it start and where did it come from?
It actually
What
plays
exactly does it
two
do?
important roles in Goblet of Fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Two. I don't know if you remember. I know you know one. I know everybody knows one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you remember what the other two. I might challenge you on that one later.
All right.
Okay, so the year is 500 AD, and it's the first recorded use of the Polyjuice Potion, the night that Arthur Pendragon was conceived. It appears that Merlin was the first to make this potion for King Uther Pendragon to use to transform into Gorlois, Duke of Cornwall, the husband of Merlin's mother, Igraine. For whom
There's some
Uther-
very, very easy enunciable names in here.
For whom Uther lusted. While under the transformation of Polyjuice Potion, he impregnated Igraine and had his troops execute the real Gorlois. He then married Igraine. Their son, Arthur Pendragon, was raised away under a pseudonym. This is the first recorded use of the Polyjuice Potion. Now, I don't think J.K. came up with this.
Well, if you look into that story, there's a lot more to that story. It's actually kind of interesting, and it's another one of those things that makes sense.
Well, and here's the thing. So in my research, even though J.K. doesn't have much extracurricular writing on the Polyjuice Potion,
There's so many directions she can go with this.
There's so many directions she can go with
much
it.
She can expound upon.
and we know that she studied alchemy.
yeah,
We know that she studied transfiguration, from books and stories to add to how it would work in Harry Potter. So all of the stories like this one points to there were readings that and stories that
well, yeah,
she could have drawn from.
Yeah, there you go. She could have drawn from it. Did
Easily.
this particular story actually happen? Maybe little bits and pieces, but it's based upon something she found. It didn't just come straight from her head. Or little bit of both, right?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how a writer works. So it seems the potion might be something that should be banned. I mean, impersonation or identity theft is illegal in the Muggle world, so I think this is like the ultimate form. There's no question about it. This is the ultimate form of identity theft. What do you think about that?
Well, and I mean, so it's in the restricted section.
Eh,
So we know that it's not something that we're going to do. Snape never teaches it in the books. Polyjuice Potion is never part of the thing. And it's also, it feels like if the Imperious Curse, right, if you can control somebody to do something, if that's an unforgivable, you would also think that impersonating a person would also be considered unforgivable.
yeah, there's some blurred lines there, but for the most part, I mean, in my opinion at least, it seems like Polyjuice Potion is frowned upon, no
It
matter
is.
what the age. Yeah,
It is. Especially how, it's not widely used in the
yeah.
books.
It's like you use your best judgment type of thing, and well, you're gonna get in trouble, so expect consequences. It's
You know, yeah, that's one of those things. I was just thinking while I was reading this, I was like, well, what are some harmless ways that you could use the Polyjuice Potion? And then for some reason did you ever watch the show Suits?
I've heard of it, but I have not watched
So
it.
Suits is a great show. It's a really great show, but there's this kid that is like if he reads something and he sees something, he memorizes it and he has it memorized forever. He's got
That'd be
a
great.
photographic memory. And so he was kicked out of college because he memorized a test and then wrote it down, sold copies of the test, whatever. So he made money sitting for the bar exam for people. And it's like, oh man, if he just had some Polyjuice Potion, like it would be so easy for him to just because he has to like hide his, he has to run away from one of them. But he's
Well,
like, man, he could do
think
that, which is
about,
still
like-
illegal. Which is still illegal.
Well, think about celebrities, how they just want to go out and be a regular part of the community.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, they
yeah,
could
so-
totally do Polyjuice with a relative or a friend and be
Yeah, that'd
like,
great.
yeah,
That'd be awesome. Anyways, there's a lot of back and forth on how Polyjuice Potion works, so although we consider ourselves to be a reliable source of information, the best, I would say take most of our side quests with a grain of salt, especially, kind of stuff like this. But
take it as your starting point.
yeah, we like
We're
to
gonna
have
lay
fun
out
with
some
it.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. So we all know Polyjuice Potion not only turns us into the person that we want to be, but it also makes us sound like the person we're trying to be. And you get all their mannerisms.
sounds like the person.
Yeah, well, in the movies, when Ron and Harry use Polyjuice Potion, they still sound like themselves.
And Hermione.
And they try to talk like Crab and Goyle, but that was only because they didn't want the audience watching the film to get confused. That's
Warner
all
Brothers.
there was to it.
Warner Brothers thought we were too dumb to know what was happening.
Hey, man,
I'm insulted.
I'm 39 and I'm still learning about Harry Potter. Who's stupid? That makes it sound like I'm stupid. So.
So the Polyjuice Potion only makes you sound and look like, who you're trying to be. It doesn't make you act like them. It doesn't give you the person's personality. It doesn't give you anything. You are still yourself mentally, emotionally, all that jazz. So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I said it gave you the mannerisms. No, you have to learn the mannerisms.
yeah, you have to
That's right.
learn the mannerisms.
Yeah.
No, it's only the physicality that you're gaining.
See, 39 learning, still dumb.
39.
Whatever.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You got to level up. You got to level up here. We have an audience here.
Hey, we're only on book 2. We've got
There we go. Yeah.
Who knows
So
where
it-
this will go?
So in order for Polyjuice Potion to be used successfully without fear of being caught, the drinker must thoroughly study the person they want to become. Now, I'm sure you're sitting there listening to this and thinking, okay, well, yeah, that's obviously the easy part, but can you really perfectly mimic somebody?
No, I think you can get close enough. It's kind of like those movies where they switch bodies and, you could kind of sort of act like the other person, but
Sure, yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Whoa,
yeah. But everyone's like,
what's going
wait,
on
what? You
here?"
did
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
You hate prune juice. Why are you drinking prune juice? But yeah, if you don't study the way that they walk, they talk, their facial expressions, their mannerisms, the way they think,
Oh
act, look,
yeah.
feel, I mean, there's a good chance you're going to get caught. Luckily, Harry and Ron decided to imitate
Two,
to
two, two
just
dunces.
dumb, yeah, just too dumb. And again, we've talked about their plan. It wasn't very well. It was thought out, but it wasn't very well thought out. So, lesson to all the kids out there: if you're going to do Polyjuice Potion, really study the person that you're trying to impersonate.
Oh yeah.
So, it is worth noting, if you remember the first time the trio used the Polyjuice Potion, Hermione turned herself into a cat. So the potion isn't meant to be used with anything, any living creature outside of humans. So Hermione used it, accidentally put a cat hair in there instead of Millicent's regular hair, and she had to go to the hospital wing for over a month.
Which, okay, when it comes to that, I think we can put this in this episode. What was the point on the fight? Like, I get it. I get it. It makes for more entertainment and everything, but she could have just walked up to Millicent and then been like, and then she probably wouldn't even have noticed that she pulled a hair out of her head.
Well, I don't think she did. I don't think she knew at that time at the dueling club that she was even going to use Millicent to become a Slytherin. I think
Okay, that
that
makes
was just
sense.
one of those. She probably just noticed it afterwards and was like, "Oh, I've got one of her hairs. Sweet, let's do
Yeah,
it."
that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't think, because I don't think Hermione started the fight with Millicent. I think Millicent, being a Slytherin troll,
She just made it sound like she did it on purpose.
agree to disagree.
Yeah,
Agree
yeah.
to disagree,
That's why we're
Jeremiah.
here. That's why we can't agree on everything.
We
That
can't
would
agree
just
on
be
everything.
boring.
We can't
Yeah.
agree on everything. Drop a comment. Who do you think? I don't think Hermione knew at the time of the dueling club that she was going to use Millicent's hair. I think it was just a
I think
serendipitous
Hermione came
situation.
up with a stupid plan. It's like, I'm going to fight this person and get a hair. That way she won't even
Okay.
know what's going on. Yeah.
Loser of the poll has to shave their head. You lost.
Uh,
So so whoever you're going to turn in, you have to have some sort of DNA from the people. They used hairs in this one, but they mentioned fingernails, toenails, and stuff in the book. But any sort of DNA, and as complicated as the Polyjuice Potion seems, it's really simple. Just like Snape makes all of the potions. Like if you follow it, it's simple. But when you get deep down into it, it really could pose a lot of questions about how to make this bad boy.
well, it's crazy. And when they get the tears for the pensive, you could use that in the polyjuice potion instead of bringing it to the pensive. I never even thought about that.
I
That's
wonder what would happen if you used, like, because Dumbledore would put the tip of his wand to his head and pull out the memories, right?
yeah, yeah.
Almost like it was a spell, like there's obviously a bit of magic there, but Snape was dying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Snape was dying, and was he, the tears, he almost like he allowed the memories to come through the tears. How cool would it have been? Snape's like, you know what? I'm on my way out. I'm gonna turn into Snape for an hour, and I'm gonna go fight Voldemort as
Oh,
Snape.
jeez.
And Voldemort's like, I just killed you. We are off the rails right now.
Oh no, that'd
We
be
are off the rails. He uses
yeah,
he
yeah.
uses memory tears to become Snape. And one of the things that I was reading, you don't even, when you turn into somebody else, you don't even inherit their magical abilities.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, even the wand, like the wand knows. The wand knows.
Oh,
Like you don't inherit. Like if you were to be Dumbledore
I'm gonna pay
and you
attention to the movies when they use the polyjuice potion. See if I know Mad Eye still has Mad Eye's wand. So
he does use Mad Eye's wand, but we know that Barty Crouch Jr. is a powerful wizard
yeah.
from what he's able to do in the books. And in Deathly Hallows, they're not using any extraordinary magic when they become the ministry workers.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Interesting.
So, I don't know if you guys followed along on any of that really, but now that
If you're still with us,
now
we
that we've
love
given
you.
you an explanation of at least the important parts of the potion, I think we should get into some lore logistics. We've
yes.
kind of already gotten into some,
Yes.
or just in other words, kind of go off on a tangent about how we think it works in different ways. So the first topic would be. We know that for the Polyjuice Potion to work, you have to have a bit of the person you're going to turn into. Now, theory says the time that you take the bit of person matters.
Well, which makes sense because as soon as you remove something living from a human, it no longer has its source of energy, nutrition, right? So it's going to start dying.
Yeah.
DNA though can last for a long time. That's why they can have DNA samples on killers that are 20, 30 years old and they
Yeah.
can still match it to stuff. So I don't really think that timing. Now, I guess you could say if you would, so like in year 2, if they took the hair from Crab and Goyle and they took that hair and used it in year 7, they wouldn't turn into 17-year-old Crab and Goyle. They would turn into 12-year-old
Yeah.
Crab
Yeah,
and
okay.
Goyle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess you could say like, yeah, you don't want to use something that's very old because then when you turn
Yeah.
into that
Don't wait too
person,
long. Yeah.
yeah, you don't want to wait too long so now, yeah,
Oh.
you're not, when you look at those
Talk about like if you're gonna
telomeres.
do it now. Don't
Yeah.
wait because
Yeah.
geez, you never know what could happen just in a short amount of time. Some sort of injury, different
Sure.
haircut.
Sure. Now
Ah,
are we trying to explain this from a muggle point of view? Or is the spell such that no matter what the spell knows, the magic knows? Like from a muggle point of view, I would say no, you would want to have current DNA.
yeah,
That is the
no,
age of the person that you're wanting to turn into.
yeah. But, I mean, magic can
Or
only
what would be
do.
cool? What would be cool is if we're getting way off the rails here, but I'm going. I don't ever. When have you ever had a deep discussion on Polyjuice Potion? How cool would it be? How cool would it be for, let's say that every month you grow up in a wizard family, right? You for every month you take 10 hairs and you just put them in a little baggie. And by the time you're 60 and you're like, I want to feel young again.
Oh, that'd be so dope.
You're 60 years old and you're like, I want to be 16 again.
Oh, you're
I'm
blowing
gonna
my mind right now,
now you're gonna
man.
do the Polyjuice Potion. What happens if you do the Polyjuice Potion on yourself, on your younger self? And so now you're 60 years old. You take the Polyjuice Potion. You make enough for a whole day. You're carrying your flask around.
The other question would beg if you wait that long, because she says you get an hour. Do you still get that full hour, or does time diminish as time goes on?
You think the older the DNA is? I don't think it would. I think you'd still get the hour.
Because a fingernail is not going to change. A piece of hair is not going to
Hair,
change.
yeah. People save their baby hair all
I
the
guess it
time.
depends on what part of the DNA you get.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So question number 2.
Oh man, I'm loving this.
So the second theory is if you
I also had another question. I'm gonna save it. I'm so sorry.
well, mine's written down. Yours isn't. Go.
So, Polyjuice Potion is for human to human transfiguration.
Yes.
But could you make Polyjuice Potion and put like a lion's hair in there? And if your cat drank it,
I was thinking the same thing.
would the cat turn into another cat? Or does the Polyjuice Potion just work? Because like
Yeah, that's yeah.
good, because there's a lot of birds. Now birds are weird because like almost every bird is a separate species.
Yeah, yeah.
right? Blue parrots are the species of the blue parrot, so you can't give them a red parrot. Those are different species.
See, now you're getting into you smoked a bunch of stuff and we're just talking.
In the last 2 months, I've had 23 minutes of sleep. Okay,
I,
I've had a
I
lot
wouldn't
going
doubt
on.
it.
All right, sorry. We're back.
All right. So we'll go on a normal topic. See, I wrote this.
Yeah, a
quite-
normal
quite-
Polyjuice topic.
I wrote this quite a long time ago, so I don't even know what this says.
I love it. I love it.
So the second topic would be: if you take the Polyjuice Potion and become somebody else, do you stop the aging process? Does your physical age change? Is anything inside of your DNA permanently altered? And we
So-
kind of got into that with the first topic.
So part of me thinks that because for us, time is linear.
Yeah.
And you're also doing something to your own body that is physically extreme. Right? Transforming and in the movies and in the book, but in the movies, it looks very painful.
You think it'd put more strain on your body?
I think it would put more strain on the body. So I think you would still age an hour linearly, but I think the strain on the body
Make it age more rapidly.
would make it age more rapidly. So
Yeah.
like it would,
That makes sense.
like yeah, I think you still age, but I don't think anything in your DNA. I don't think anything in your DNA would change.
Well, if you're using it
permanently.
like Barty Crouch Jr., he just for the whole school year, right?
Yeah, but then when that hour was up, he changed back into Barty Crouch Jr. It wasn't a slow
Well, he wouldn't even
process.
allow himself to, at least not that we know of. He would
Well-
drink the Polyjuice Potion before the change happened.
Well, and I'm sure, obviously, yeah, he was drinking it continuously throughout the day to make sure.
So, is there
that he
any
stayed-
lasting effects?
I don't think so. I don't think so because
Yeah.
it's magic.
Yeah.
Now, I think it aged him because he had to do the transformation every morning. Right? He had
Imagine
to do
how
the-
tired you'd be when you were finally done with it.
I had to do it every morning and then drink it continuously for 12 to 16 hours.
Ugh.
My man was peeing mud, bro.
Right.
Mud.
All right. So, the third topic is how much of a person's DNA is altered. So, if we open the potion first, being used by King Uther Pendragon to use to transform into Dolores, Duke of Cornwall, the husband of Merlin's mother, they then had a kid who was raised under an alias, which sounds to me like the reproduction DNA remains your own. So, in other words, if you're transfigured into another person, you have a child, while being that other person, is the child yours or the person that you were?
I'd say it's the other person's DNA. Yeah.
Because you had that DNA inside of you.
Yeah. No, I think the Polyjuice Potion. I think it would be powerful enough if you changed into someone else, bro. That's how you commit crimes, man.
Yeah. Don't get any
That's how you
ideas.
commit-
Listen
that's how
to
you
this,
commit.
guys.
That's how you commit crimes. You use the Polyjuice Potion for somebody who stole your girlfriend in high school. You turn into them, and then you go rob some banks. And you're as careless.
Hey,
and
we might be
you-
getting lucky right now because, as far as I know, magic isn't real. I wish it was. But
Nope, nah, no apologies. No apologies. No. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say if he transfigured into a guy and that guy impregnated somebody, the baby would have the DNA of the personage.
wish
Right?
there was a way we could find out for sure. I mean,
Why?
that makes sense,
Why?
but then the other way
There's
makes
no
sense. Too.
way. What do you mean that we could find out for sure? We are talking about Polyjuice Potion that we learned about in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and you just
Hey.
looked at the camera and you said, "I wish there was a way we could find out for sure."
Just overcook some cabbage, and then we'll be getting somewhere.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so the last and final topic of this episode.
Okay.
When you take the Polyjuice Potion, you take on the person's appearance, right? Well, do you automatically transform into them with their clothes? Now, let's take Mad Eye Moody, for example. He has a wooden leg and a magical eye. If you were to take the Polyjuice Potion, would you then have that wooden leg and magical eye, or would that be something you would have to steal from the person?
Well, remember, Barty Crouch Jr. kidnapped Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah,
So he had him.
yeah,
And remember when he turned back into Barty Crouch Jr., his leg grew out and the fake leg fell.
yeah.
So yeah, when you look at the Polyjuice Potion with the 7 Harrys, you do not, the only thing that changes is in the person. So
Yeah.
Harry and Ron, they got
Well,
bigger shoes.
they all were the same size after a while too. So, does the Polyjuice Potion take into account like, oh, I'm missing a leg, I don't have that eye?
That's very interesting. That's very interesting because that doesn't necessarily alter your DNA,
Yeah.
right? So if you take somebody's hair, uh, you know, if
Unless
you were
written in that DNA is there's one leg missing, one eyeball missing.
the loss of extremities doesn't change DNA,
Uh-uh.
right? So if you were to, I say clone because that's the closest thing that we have to replicating a human being. If you were to clone somebody that had limbs lost and you clone them, they would grow with the limbs.
Yeah.
Like loss of extremities doesn't change. Like if you had your gallbladder removed, you would, and you were cloned, you would have that gallbladder there because that's written in your DNA. So that's where the Polyjuice Potion becomes the magical part of it. You're taking something from them and it is magically replicating it into the version that you took. So because Barty Crouch Jr. was taking hair from Mad Eye Moody every morning
Yeah. Yeah.
in the book. I don't know if it says that in the movie. In the book, he was taking it from him every morning because he had patches gone in his hair. So yeah, when you change, the only thing that you get is their physicality. You don't get their clothes. You don't get their magical
Which,
eye. You don't get any of that stuff.
now that you're saying that, if he's taking the hair every morning, there has to be some potency to this. Because why not just pull out a whole clump? And you don't have to go down there every day.
Which opens up another loophole because at the end of towards the end of Goblet of Fire, when we finally see Mad Eye Moody, Dumbledore opens the trunk, the layers of the trunk, finds Mad Eye Moody. He's like wasted away. He's scrawny, he's weak, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's taking hairs every morning, but he turns into a vibrant Mad Eye Moody. Loophole.
Right.
We have found a discrepancy. As the year progressed, the Barty Crouch Jr. Mad Eye Moody should have also looked worse and worse, weaker and weaker as the year went by.
I hope we can remember that when we get to that.
Oh my goodness.
There's so much that we should write
Oh
down. When
my goodness. How we are making these. We're on some next level right now. We're on some next level right now. Now, the easy loophole of that is the magic knows. The magic knows. But if you're taking a weak Mad Eye Moody.
And there's
then you should-
limitations to magic. Dumbledore says it himself, right?
All
So,
true. Oh my goodness.
So
So now I'm gonna quiz you. Now I'm gonna quiz you.
yeah.
In book 4, Polyjuice Potion is used twice in 2 circumstances, 2 situations. The first we've talked about. In the beginning of the book, Barty Crouch Jr. kidnaps Mad Eye Moody, switches places with him immediately because when Arthur Weasley gets there. Mad Eye Moody is there.
Yeah.
And tells him, oh, it's just the dustbins, all that jazz. So that is Barty Crouch Jr. What is the other instance in book 4?
The only thing I could think of
Yes.
would be the Weasley twins. But
No.
that was just a
No.
spell.
No. This is great because even when I put this through AI earlier, I said, "Hey, what were the situations where Polyjuice Potion was used in the Harry Potter series?" AI didn't even get this one.
Really? Okay.
I am smarter than AI. So book 2, we obviously know Polyjuice for Harry, Ron, Hermione, Crabbe, Goyle, and the cat. We obviously know that we've got the 7 Harrys in book 7. Book 4, Polyjuice
Nothing
Potion.
to do with Igor, right? Karkaroff?
Nope. I'm going to give you a hint
Oh,
because this is.
could it be
Say it. Say it.
he who must not be named?
No.
Because he did use DNA,
No.
but it wasn't Polyjuice.
So that's not Polyjuice Potion. That was.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was so happy. I even double checked myself to make sure I was correct. How did Barty Crouch Jr. escape from Azkaban? And remember, people will say that Sirius Black was the only person to escape from Azkaban. Barty Crouch Jr. did it first, years before Sirius Black. But Sirius Black did it on his own. He was the first person, without anyone's help, to be able to escape from Azkaban. How did Barty Crouch Jr. escape from Azkaban?
Use it to turn into his mother, right? Yeah.
Yes. She was dying.
I forgot about that. It's been so long since I've read or listened to that book. I forgot.
Barty
about
Crouch's wife was dying.
it. Yeah.
And so they went to see their son
Oh, that's
one last
right.
time.
The Dementors don't know if someone dies. They
They,
can't
ju-
sense it.
they can't sense. They
Yeah,
just know
yeah.
it's a body. They don't have eyes. They just knows that it's a body. So a healthy person and a weak person entered,
Yeah.
and a healthy person and a weak person left. And he used his wife. He turned Barty Crouch Jr.
Love it.
using Polyjuice
Ugh.
Potion into his wife. That's how he got him out of Azkaban.
It gets used way more than we.
Boom!
Oh man.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say I've read these books over 20 times, read and listened to, because usually when I listen to them, I've got
You
that
cry
book at home.
at the end of the last one. 'Cause I used to drive concrete trucks so much and do so many night pours that
Yeah.
I was listening to that, put me in a good mood. That when it was over, it's like, oh, now my happiness is gone.
Yeah. 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 So I know Polyjuice Potion has to be illegal.
That was a good one, though. That was a good one.
Yeah. I know
That was a good
Polyjuice Potion has to be illegal. And it seems like it's mostly used from
Well, especially with that
espionage.
example. I mean,
With that example,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look how easy it was for Harry, Hermione, and Ron to infiltrate the Ministry.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
Anyways, if you guys have any ideas for side quests, for Squibblers for us, let us know because
know.
we want to do all the side quests that we can. Why not? Let's keep this thing going. Let's let it go.
this
as long as
conversation
we
was
can.
fun. With this conversation, we went into conversations that I had no clue we would talk about.
Oh, yeah. No.
No clue.
Nope.
So
Nope.
the fact
Looking
that
at
we
the
were
script,
able
I was like, oh, this is kind of boring. But we took it from boring to entertaining.
No.
So there we go.
we are too into Harry Potter lore to be able to keep things surface level. Like we gotta
Even
go.
if it's not lore out there, we could turn it into it and make it make sense. So
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. It's great. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe wherever you're listening to our podcast, and share it to another who? Another who, Andrew?
I believe they're called Potterheads.
Well, yeah. We don't pronounce Potter like that, right?
Potter.
Yeah.
Potter.
Squibscorner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobo and co-host by Andrew Beecham. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review to inquire about being a guest and for questions, comments, or to just give us your Harry Potter story. Email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow my YouTube, Accio Potter Guy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Squibscorner.